Welcome to the Filipino American Women Project, also known as TFAW Project for short, a podcast show that features stories and life lessons told by American women of Filipino descent. We're your co-hosts, Jen Amos.
And I'm Nani Dominguez.
And thank you for joining us.
If today's conversation resonates with you, text us and let us know at 415-484-8329.
And if you want to show us some love, buy us boba at buymeacoffee.com/Jen and Nani.
It says coffee, but we love boba. Again, that's www.buymeacoffee.com/Jen and Nani.
Awesome. With that said, thank you all for your love and support.
Now let's get into the show.
Oh my goodness, Nani, it's 2022. We are back. It's been quite some time. I'm Jen Amos, your co-host. And of course, Nani, you're back with me here on the Filipino American Women Project. Could you believe?
I almost could not believe, but here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really speechless. I mean, we sort of have notes on what we want to talk about, but I literally don't even know how to begin this right now, other than to just say, we made it. We made it to another year. We survived 2021. I mean, if we were able to survive 2020, we definitely survived 2021. But for 2022, I am most interested in not just surviving, but thriving this year. What about you?
I would love that. I am about done with the surviving thing here.
Yeah, for sure.
Ready to graduate. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And, you know, I feel like there's so much to unpack with the last couple of years. But in the meantime, I just want to say I'm so grateful for therapy. Like, I'm so grateful to have had so much help and support. And one thing I thought it'd be fun to share with our listeners is that I am, really putting myself first this year. So not only do I have a therapist, but I have a chiropractor, I have a nutrition coach, I have a health coach or a fitness coach. They're a married couple. It's really cute. But we work together. And also I have an office like for the first time in the 12 years of being self-employed. Yeah. Like this is an investment that my husband and I decided that it was time to do. And I have to tell you, I immediately feel like a different person. Yeah. And also to just have a stable environment to record consistently and to have consistent audio quality, because that's definitely something that was really difficult for the last 6 months. I'm just grateful, like I can get into the details, but even if you haven't seen everything that happened behind the scenes, I hope you can feel the change through our approach this year for the Filipino American Women Project.
Yeah, I think that I'm entering this year, as I've talked about pretty extensively in the newsletter so far, trying to be as intentional as I can with every move that I make. And as a new mom, that would be my word of the year, you guys, is thoughtful, because everything you do has to be thought out. It has to be planned out from, even just like when you're going to go to bed, you have to plan, okay, well, I'm going to be up in 2 hours, 4 hours. So, it's just a constant juggling act, but it pays off, when you start getting into the routine of not just flying by life, but actually planning out your moves and your steps. It goes a long way, like for your mental health, to be able to maintain some kind of balance and stability. So that is my goal for this year, balance. And I want to bring that, also into the TFAW project and what we have set out for our goals and objectives and intentions with the show, both TFAW project and TJN, Chismes with Jen and Nani. So yeah, if you guys are not already members over there, make sure you go get in, because as we get into our next announcement of the day, those prices will be going up on you. So get in while you can.
Yes. Yeah. So we're just going to dive into it. We actually talked about this in our last newsletter. So a couple updates. First and foremost, we're having our next book club on February 21st at 12 p.m. Pacific time and 3 p.m. Eastern time, which actually falls on a holiday. And so we were able to chat with some of our upcoming book club members, and we found out that the holiday happened to be the best time. And so if you happen to be free that weekend and you want to join us in reading the book Little Manila is in the Heart, we would love to have you. Remember, at least right now, it's as easy as buying us one cup of boba on buyusboba.com. And I'm actually really excited about this, Nani, because this is the first time since we've started our book club that we have new people. Like so far, it's been you, myself, and Caitlin. Really, if it wasn't for Caitlin, we wouldn't be doing it, but it was just us three. And now we have almost a handful of people joining us for this one, at least right now in the RSVP list. And so you have been engaging with them and helping coordinate this meeting. And so I'm curious if you have any thoughts you want to share with the people who are going to be joining us on February 21st.
Yeah, I'm really excited for, our intimate book club to get together and review this book. So what I did in the meantime, so that you guys have an idea of what all the book being a part of the book club really entails, I set up a group text thread, of course, with everyone's permission to do so. So that as we're reading, in between now and February 21st, because at the time of this recording, that's a while out, still a few weeks. So as we're reading, just a place for us to share our thoughts, pose questions, things that stood out to us, quotes, et cetera, so that when we record, we have some kind of backbone or skeleton of content that we want to go over from the book. So that's one way that we're trying to stay as connected as possible instead of just setting the date far in the future and saying, see you there. Also, another thing to note is you don't have to read along if you don't want to. If you don't want to purchase the book or you can't purchase the book for whatever reason, you're more than welcome to just join for the conversation and, just hang out with us. If you want to just listen, if you want to chime in. So you guys are also welcome to do that and join the book club in that capacity if it works better for you.
Yeah, for some of us, the book is just an excuse to meet up. Yeah. But just like what Nani had said, you don't have to read it. We would just very much enjoy having you there and being part of the conversation and hearing our take on the book. If you don't read it, that's totally fine. I've done that in the past where if I was trying to decide if I wanted to watch a certain movie or read a certain book, I would, look up on YouTube people's reviews and their take on it, and that's okay too. That's a great way to digest content. So yeah, we're super excited about that. And once again, that's going to take place February 21st at 12 p.m. Pacific time and 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that is our first big exciting announcement. And we hope that you will join us. Remember, all you have to do is buy a minimum of one cup of boba at buyusboba.com. So the next big update that Nani had already hinted at, I bet you're all like, oh my gosh, is it true? Is it true what you said a couple minutes ago? Is it true? Yes, it's true. After our book club on February 21st, we are going to be increasing our membership prices on buyusboba.com. We have been talking about this for some time now. And part of that is because we want to focus on our main objective on the TFAW Project, which is to build a self-sustaining community for us, for you, for the listener, and for our community. And, part of that is investing in the long-term success of our show, really investing and uplifting the past guests who've been on our show through collaboration, hosting our book clubs, amongst other things. We have a ton of other things going on. In fact, if you are a buyusboba.com member already, you'll hear our new intro for Chismes with Jen and Nani. And we really get into sort of the budding pillars of what we stand for, what we stand by, and what we're trying to really accomplish for our community here.
I like the intro that we came up with. It is cute, and I think it's representative of kind of the vibe that we're trying to create on TJN over there.
Yes. And I feel so grateful to have worked on this with you, Nani, because unknowingly, I didn't realize that we were also going to work on our pillars. And, in thinking about the TFAW Project, we have been thinking a lot about how we want to approach it for this year. And, at this moment, the reason why we're releasing this bonus episode is because, we're not ready to start the actual show yet, which is why we are emphasizing Chismes with Jen and Nani, because we've been, investing more of our time there. So I just want to emphasize the pillars that we've come up with so far on what we're trying to do there. And hopefully it'll bleed over here to the TFAW Project. So our pillars are unconventional learning, community building, and archiving our history. And in reality, this is what we've been doing all along, Nani. And I'm just really happy to finally put it into words and to, at least set that foundation, that new foundation for Chismes with Jen and Nani.
Yeah, I think it is important to outline what it is that we do here, because sometimes the conversations can feel, monotonous, and maybe you can feel like you've already had that conversation or it's not
Mhm.
pertinent to you anymore. And so I think it's important to understand what we're doing here when we're telling these stories is, documenting our history. We're painting our narrative. We are, coloring the details of the entire
Mhm.
spectrum that is the Pinay in the modern day society. We are learning unconventionally. This is our unconventional classroom. We learn from people like Stacy or Kuya Kirby or, any of the ladies that we've had on our show. We have cultural discussions that may or may not be, taboo at the family dinner table.
Mhm.
We may or may not be used to, speaking openly about things like mental health or, toxic family members, things like that, toxic relationships. At the same time, we have like workshops and other interactive events where we are handing the mic over to past guests that we've had on the TFAW project before who have built their own platforms in the community, from health coaches, food coaches, life coaches, therapists, architects, literally all
Yeah,
the
that's
different
crazy when you say
things.
that out loud. I'm like, huh, that's true.
Yeah, because, you go through these interviews, but when you actually just like look at the archive of everything we've done, we have built in a real community. And so we want to build on that, and we want to check in with those people and see what they're doing now and see how they've grown and see how their projects have evolved, in alignment with ours, et cetera, et
Right.
cetera. So it's important to understand that kind of scope as we go into the new year, at least. And, per my newsletter, like Jen mentioned earlier, us mind mapping out our goals and objectives for the year for ourselves and for the projects that we're working on. So that is what we wanted to share with you. I encourage you all to also share if you tried out the exercise, and you can get the link to do so in the newsletter. Make sure you're subscribed.
Yes. And actually, I want to continue to emphasize the newsletter because, one thing for me personally, I have managed to wean myself off of most of my social media accounts so much that I don't even have any social media apps on my phone anymore. I feel very proud of myself. I will say, though, that if I do want to go on, I go via desktop. But since I'm not on my desktop all the time, I don't go on as much.
It's easy to close it out, and yeah.
Yeah. And so, the newsletter is extremely important because if you don't join us on Chismis with Jen and Nani, but you still want to get the chismis, that's what our newsletter is for. Our newsletter keeps you plugged into our community and keeps the conversation going, especially as the show is still off season. So we highly, highly encourage you to stay subscribed or subscribe if you haven't already. We have the link to that in the show notes of this episode. And yeah, with that being said, as a reminder, because of everything that we just shared, we realize that it's time that we value ourselves a little bit more, just a little bit, by increasing our prices. And so starting February 21st, really starting February 22nd after our book club, that's when we intend on increasing the prices. So first and foremost, if you want to join our book club, definitely buy us at least one cup of boba while the price is still what the price is. And you can join us in our book club. And then, of course, if you have been thinking for some time now, you're like, oh my gosh, Jen and Nani have a TFAW Project episode. I've missed them. Oh my gosh, it's popped up on my Apple podcast. It's so exciting. And you missed us and you realize how much you missed us. Well, hey, we're still active. I'm all going crazy. It's starting New Year, y'all. I know
Yeah.
it's February already, but hey, lots going on. And
Better
like
late than never.
if you realize, like, you ever like have that friend that you didn't realize like kind of disappeared for a while and then you see them again, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how much I missed you,
Yeah.
So if you're feeling that and you don't want to have that feeling anymore, then join us on
Yeah, we're here.
biasboba.com. We haven't gone anywhere. We've just been on a different platform. And we would love to have you. And as I mentioned, the prices will increase starting February 22nd after our book club, in which you all are welcome to join us. Because it's a Monday, because it's a holiday, there might be a chance that Nani and I might be drinking, just so you know, just in case you want to join us and get humored, see us on video. I'm just saying, just
Yeah,
throwing it out there.
highly,
No
highly
promises.
probable.
Yeah, it's highly probable if you're looking for a show. You're like,
Highly probable.
I don't want to read the book, but I want to see Jen and Nani just get drunk. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, again, no promises, but might be a possibility. So there you go.
It's a rare treat.
Yeah. So with all those updates in mind, we have one more final announcement that, hopefully you won't be too sad about. And Nani and I had discussed this right before we started recording, and we believe it's the best decision for our show right now. And we decided that we are going to close guest applications. We decided that for some time now, I know that some of you had applied and you've probably been waiting for that special email or that special text message from us. And right now, just so we don't get anyone's hopes up, we decided to close the guest application. It's not like I can go on all the past show notes and delete it. But the point is that, moving forward, we're not going to look at that list until we're ready to interview again. Right now, we're focused on just Miss with Jen and Nani and being in community with people who've already been on our show. And so out of respect for you and for us and for the people who are in community with us right now, we decided that the best thing to do is to close that guest application.
Yeah, I think that is a really important disclosure to make. And I will highlight that probably in next week's newsletter, just as a reminder so that, because we do still get submissions for that. And so I do want to, like you said, be transparent and let you guys know that we don't have a queue going right now, but we will in the future. And if it's not going to be a traditional TIFA interview like the ones that you've heard up until now on the show, we will be incorporating you into whatever the new approach that we take. We just don't know what that is yet. So we appreciate your grace and your compassion while we figure that out. And we will, be the first, obviously, to let you know once we know what we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So, we know that our community has always been very loving and supportive and patient and understanding. Did I say understanding already? Well, there you go.
No, but
you're so understanding. I said it twice. If I did, I'm not going to rewind and find out if I said it more than once. But yeah, we are extremely grateful. And, we want to express our gratitude by reprioritizing and making sure that this is a show project that is sustainable. So yeah, Nani, that's it. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. Happy Lunar New Year to those of you that celebrate. We hope you've been well. Again, we did not leave you. We are just over on biasboba.com. We are busy reading. We've got our noses deep in our books.
I love how no one can see this on video, but you shook your head. You're like, we are, shakes head, deep in this book. I love it. You guys, y'all can't see this right now. We've been
the drama that you guys missed. But, if you join us on Chismes with Jen and Nani, you can see all of that. There's raw video footage somewhere on YouTube available for only our members exclusively. So if that's something that you want to see, yes, it's highly entertaining and well worth your $6. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I'm really grateful, Nani. And I have to give a shout out to Stacy as well. She's been a part of our ongoing conversation on, the direction of the show. And I'm just really appreciative that in all of the changes that we personally have gone through in our lives in the recent months, if not last 2 years, really. And therefore, as a result, the show needing to change as well. I'm just really appreciative of how willing you are to adapt with me, just everything I have shared, everything that I, kind of envision moving forward. And of course, with you as well. I'm just really grateful that, you and I are open to change and we're open to evolving. And that actually is a good hint onto what our upcoming show title might be. So I don't know yet. I don't know. I just said it. Oh my God. Everyone's like, what? New show title? I don't know yet. We don't know yet.
What? What? Did someone hear something?
Do you need to rewind? Don't rewind. Yeah. I mean, again, so much has happened. And I really hope that in who we are now in 2022, it'll manifest in the type of stuff we put out there for the new year. So that's it. I mean, I'm excited. I've already oversaid it with the word excited, but that's where I'm at. And I'm just grateful to continue to walk this journey with you, Nani, and making the show possible. And the best part of it is it's not just us anymore. We have people we confide in, not just Stacy, shout out to your best friend, Caitlin, and so many other people that I would have to take some time to look up the names right now, but we have a sisterhood here and I want to focus on that now, So yeah, thank you all for understanding.
Yes. Thank you for being so flexible. And again, like you said, being so willing and easy to adapting to change. We've both had a lot of that over the whole 2021. And so I think that this is one thing, at least for the two of us, that's like a stable kind of like home space for us to kind of escape to amidst all the chaos going on, in the next room, or now you have an office, and just so much has changed, including our relationship. So I appreciate the evolution of that. And I hope that that's what really shines through when we do decide to pick up TFA again, is like how our relationship has changed, how we've changed as individuals, basically as a mirror to how the community has changed over the years. And with that, may or may not come a new show title. So you guys may or may not have heard that correctly. And I don't know if you understand what we mean when we say that, but we may or may not be divulging more details soon.
Yes.
Or not.
I didn't hear what you said, so we can.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear what you said either, so I was just like throwing that out there. But
yeah. Just anyway. A thought.
Yeah, just some updates.
Yeah. Maybe you're not picking up what we're putting out. We don't know. But anyway, no, I'm excited. And you kind of mentioned earlier something about like, maybe some of you have like, let's say, outgrown our stories or outgrown the show, or like maybe it's not serving you in the way that it has anymore because you're beginning to hear repeated stories. And I believe, though, Nani, that like this year is going to be exciting. Like, I think that we're going to hear a whole set of new stories. Like, our personalities are going to come out in such a different way because of who we are now. And I hope that, even in listening to this bonus episode, I hope that you don't walk away thinking, they're just the same. I'm over it. I hope not. I hope that we have kind of teased a little about a couple things that may be happening, may or may not. We don't know. Yeah. But either way, if you do continue to stick around with us, thank you. And to everyone in the off season who have, emailed us, text messaged us, supported us on biasboba.com, thank you. Because there was that time in October as we were nearing our end of the season where I thought, am I going to be forgotten? Like, is this all for naught? Like, once we're done recording? And all of you have shown up in the off season. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for staying engaged with us. Thank you for, when we say we are focusing our community building efforts, outside of just the regularly scheduled episodes in our newsletter, you guys show up there and you guys all subscribe there and you interact with us there. And you let us know that you appreciate the content and that it's helpful for you to receive those messages. So please continue to do that if that's how you feel. And it means the world to us. So thank you for being here. We love you.
We love you. We appreciate you. We can't wait to be in community with you, especially on biasboba.com. I'll say it one more time. And with that said, we hope to chat with you. I mean, for now, via newsletter, text message, biasboba.com. I said it again. But hopefully we'll chat with you when the season's back. We don't know when it's going to be back. We don't know how it's going to look like when it's back. But if you wait till then, that's fine too, especially if you are a fan of our show. So thank you either way for your support, however you enjoy the show and digest our content. And we'll chat with you soon.
Yeah. See you soon.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I keep doing this like they can see me.
Nani, they can't see you. Okay. All right. Love you all. Happy New Year.
Bye, guys.